92.3 K-Rock.
It's The Rock in New York, 92.3 K-Rock. Tomorrow, the Taste of Chaos tour reaches this part of the world. And today, gearing up for that, Avenged Sevenfold are here at K-Rock. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm all right. How's it been going?
Really good.
Been great.
Yeah?
Yep.
This is a big show for Avenged Sevenfold, right? And just in terms of the stage show, this is the biggest one you've done so far?
Yeah, it's pretty massive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In terms of what people have seen before, what are the differences? Have you just made it as kind of big and as explosive as can be?
Yeah, we added a lot of pyro, a lot of explosions. We added a lot of video. And a lot of bands go out and they do either video or they do pyro, or they just have a big stage. We have a huge stage set up. Lots of pyro, lots of fireworks, and lots of video and cool stuff.
A lot of pyro never goes amiss. I remember seeing you do shows when I lived back in the UK, and when you started to get the ramps and the light boxes, it was like, this is the direction they're going in. But you kind of always got the impression that from those days, you always had the potential to put on the big rock show.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. We always feel comfortable. We feel comfortable in arena settings, and we feel comfortable just being on big stages. And a lot of bands, they don't really translate like from a club to a big place, and I think our band does, and we just like to just go at it.
So when you knew that you were going to be playing these bigger venues, did you sort of sit down and have a band meeting and go, right, let's see how close to our sort of Kiss, Iron Maiden type Spinal Tap stage show fantasies we can get with this live performance?
Well, we figured, with the way CD sales are now and stuff, and with the downloading and stuff, that kids, you got to give kids something that's unforgettable if you want them to be fans of your band for a while, and to, kids are shelling out a lot of money for these tickets, and we figured that why put all the money in our pockets? Let's put it back into the stage show and actually give these kids something to look forward to coming back to see.
Yeah.
And so we just want to give them a lot of these kids have never seen pyro, they've never seen the big stage show because they're young, and we want to be the first band to bring it to them.
Yeah.
Just like when we were younger, going and checking out Metallica or Van Halen or something. It's just they're blowing up the whole stage.
Yeah.
We want kids to experience that, the same way we got to do that.
Yeah, because I guess that's what imprints imprints on your memories. The good times you had watching those bands when you were a fan. It's always good to remember what it was like when you were a fan. Now you're in a band and you've got your own fans, right? To make sure it sort of translates. It's a generational thing almost.
Absolutely. I think like when Metallica was doing the And Justice for All tour, they had a huge stage and they were blowing stuff up. But at the time, they were a big band, but they weren't the biggest band in the world. Until the Black Album came out when it really broke. But to me, in my mind, they were the biggest thing in the world because I was a little kid and I was looking at the stage going, oh my God, Metallica, there's gods.
Yeah.
And so we want to go out there and we want these kids to see this and be like blown away.
And also, I think the kids give more respect to the bands because they know that you've gone out and you've put thought into it and you're giving them like a show because, it's like the bands try hard or the kids almost respect you more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Gates. Just listening to you, dude. We had a long night last night. We have a bunch of J-Rock Japanese bands out with us and stuff, and they bring sake over from Japan. They're on the Taste of Chaos tour, and Bullet, they just get crazy.
Yeah.
So we were at the bar all night last night. We had a day off today, so it was just pretty wild getting a bunch of translators and Japanese people and come by. And
I was going to ask you about Bullet, actually, because obviously coming from the UK, I know Bullet quite well, and they like to drink. So are they leading you astray on this tour? Because Bullet for My Valentine are opening up the Taste of Chaos dates, right?
The J-Rock bands were actually carrying Moose by one. They had 4 people, one each had a limb in their hand, and we had to carry him down the street. We got him back on the bus. He kind of sobered up, I guess, a little bit and started drinking again. So it was pretty crazy.
Matt Tuck walked into the bar last night. He had a huge mask on with huge glasses and a wig, and you couldn't tell who he was. And he comes in just messing with everybody. Yeah, and they were just hammered already before we even, they're just out of their minds.
See, people from the UK always drunk.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, they love it because they don't have to headline. So they're like, oh, we love it because we get to sit there and just get hammered while you guys
They're
have to
drunk
play.
by 8:30, right? They're drunk before you're even on stage.
All the
stealing all the girls
are already out of the venue. They already got them all on the bus.
So the only downside is you have to look at a slightly more ugly audience.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the way that the material on the latest album lends itself to this big kind of live show, because the fact that there was so much variety on the album and so many different textures, that must make it easier to put on this big show because you can kind of experiment with different things rather than being the straight out metal kind of band that you were on maybe some of the earlier albums.
Definitely. I think we did a lot of touring last year, and we went on tour with a lot of great bands and saw what transferred from huge arena settings, like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, and we wanted to experiment with kind of more groove-oriented sounds and slowing stuff down and just making everything just really gigantic production-wise, and it's really helped. You know, when you have something that's going 1,000,000 miles per hour, it doesn't translate that well, especially in like sheds and stuff, because it's just so ambient and crazy. But yeah, all the slower material and stuff definitely goes over great, and it gives kids and us a chance to kind of just slow down the settings and kind of have like climaxes and stuff like that. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, and like our live show, we get to like everything from, if you're doing like Beast and the Harlot, the stage looks one way, and then when you go into something like Scream and it gets all groove oriented, the lights just change, everything changes. Do a little piece of Heaven, or you do like you know, Almost Easy, and it's all fire on the stage, and then go into a little piece of Heaven, and we turn the stage into like a circus pretty much. There's confetti, and there's all this crazy stuff going on, and so we have so many different varieties, but we get to make the stage show look like that, and it just keeps variety, and we never get bored up there, which is cool. Yeah. Which means the kids probably aren't getting bored. A lot of people have been telling us the show, they're like, it's like relentless. You never get bored because it's always on to the next thing, which is cool.
Yeah, it's always something different.
Yeah.
It must seem like there's so much more potential with the band now after having released that album and being able to do these shows. And I know, you know, you're focusing on the videos. In fact, you got in the New York Post last week, was it, as being one of the recommended videos to download for a little piece of a little piece of heaven.
That's cool.
Apparently, yeah, it was there. So, I mean, there must feel like there's so much more potential with things that you can do on every level now, kind of like as maybe more sort of artists that play a lot of metal rather than just being a metal band.
Yeah, I've always looked at us like that, and I think that I think sometimes, I'm not here to complain about anything. I think we've been treated a little unfairly by press, and they kind of pigeonhole us as a metal band, or pigeonhole us as this.
Right?
Yeah, it's just like, you know what, like we never consider ourselves that. We just consider ourselves a band that plays metal, we play rock, we play all sorts of stuff, and we just consider ourselves musicians, and we just love music. Yeah. And so sometimes it's hard when people are just all about, oh, you're a metal band, you're a metal band. No, I think we translate to a lot of different people, and I think with this record, people are finally starting to see that. I think they're going to really see that when we start releasing more singles. We're going to go with some softer stuff and some more stuff that can cross over maybe, and I think people will start seeing that about Avenged Sevenfold. We're not the scary band. We're a band that, you know, just plays good rock music.
Happy and colorful.
Yeah, happy and colorful, not the scary band. Yeah. What happens from this point onwards? You're out on the road for a long time, right? You've got some maiden dates in Europe. I mean, I saw your schedule. It's like it doesn't stop till like August, it seems.
Yeah, no, we do. We're going to Australia with Bullet, New Zealand, and then we do South America. We're headlining South America, and we're headlining all Southeast Asia, and then we go to Europe with Maiden, like all summer pretty much, and then we do some dates with Metallica over there, and some big festivals over there.
And then you might get back to Orange County at some point.
Might get back in September. Yeah.
Well, listen, the show's on tomorrow at the Nassau Coliseum. Thank you for coming into K-Rock today.
Thanks for having us.
K-Rock 92.3 K-Rock.